Okay, yes, hit the thumbs up, hit the subscribe, hit the likes, hit the share, all that shite. Let's get into it then. Well, there's not really much to get into other than United being an absolute stinking, steaming set of absolute merry melters who can't seem to organise a piss up in a brewery, can they, these guys? At the moment, Manchester United seriously struggling with any transfer news or any transfer dealings, incomings, outgoings, the rest of it. Thomas Sandfield, thank you for your super chat. He says this transfer window's turned into a Benny Hill show. We just need that music to pop on, don't we? You're absolutely right, yeah. Okay, so this has turned into a debacle, this transfer window. It began quite well, but obviously it's turned to shite. And what makes it even worse now is that there's just business being done absolutely left, right and centre. Everyone else is strengthening. And United are just seemingly getting weaker. And considering we finished 15th, that's not good. We needed to give Amorim all the tools to do the job this season. Goodness me, we can't expect too much to be different if we're not going to have much of a different squad. Look at this just a moment ago. Fab reporting exclusive. Noni Madueke to Arsenal. Here we go. Fee agreed in excess of £50 million with add-ons included. Green light from Chelsea. Madueke already agreed 5-year deal at Arsenal days ago, and he's now set to complete the move. And obviously they're working on, the likes of Gyokeres, they've already signed Zubimendi, Norgard. Arsenal have made some strides, and they finished second and got to the Champions League semi-final. And they feel the need to strengthen significantly this summer. Not the only team to do so either. I mean, have a look at this. So we can see that the Kudu deal has been done this evening as well. That's announced, and here we go. Even Tottenham Hotspuds are outdoing us now in this transfer window. I mean, what the fuck is this? They've done us in the Europa League final, and now they're cooking us in the transfer market as well. It's a shambles. Look at this. Official, confirmed. Mohamed Kudu joins Tottenham Hotspur from West Ham for £55 million fee. Everybody's going for £55 million. We can't buy players, though, for £55 million, no. We can only buy players for £70 million, it seems, and then we don't want to pay £70 million. 6-year deal for Kudu. Only wanted to join Tottenham, despite interest from several clubs. So they've got the deal done quite easily there for Mohamed Kudu in a matter of a few days. Listen, it was only a few days ago that they actually went in and tried to sign this guy. So they were able to get the deal agreed. They were able to get the medical sorted out. They were able to get all the paperwork's done. They were able to get everything done in a matter of a few days. United have been fanning around like a primo fanny for a month now on Mbeumo. A month, damn it. Thank you, Thornster. I appreciate the super chat. He says, yes, Pig, let it all out. Shambles. Thank you so much to you there. I appreciate you, Thornster. Thank you so much. I'm going to let it all out, mate. That's exactly what I'm doing. I'm hot as fuck right now. It's 27.2 degrees in the sky. I'm sweating my tits off talking about an inactivity and lack of transfers. We should be talking about signing lots of awesome players like these other clubs are doing. And it's not just that either. It's not just that. Who else did they sign? Tottenham also signed Gibbs White. Breaking Fabrizio Romano earlier on. Morgan Gibbs White to Tottenham. Here we go. Spurs trigger £60 million release clause after direct contact with Forest today. Medical booked and set to take place in 24 hours. Follows Kudu deal done. Massive moves for Spurs project. What the fuck's going on? I feel like we stepped into some alternate reality, some horrible Twilight Zone, where Spurs are all of a sudden a much better run and better. Well, to be fair, everybody's like a better run club than us. But I feel like they've walked into some sort of Twilight Zone where Spurs are a bigger, more attractive proposition to play for than United, which is crazy, isn't it? But I don't think it is that. I think what it is we have just got a set of absolute lemmings in charge of the recruitment, in charge of the football club, obviously owners, of course, but the actual people in the roles, I'm talking about the Wilcoxes, the Baradas, the Vivels, all these sorts of individuals, whoever. I don't even know who we've got anymore because everybody keeps getting chopping and changing. We've got more incomings and outgoings in our fucking backroom staff than we have in our first team. Tottenham has signed a couple of great players there. They've got a good couple of additions, and they, again, will, I'm sure, be better this season because of it. And they're still looking to do some more business also, whereas United, not so much. I mean, there's still an expectation that Visser is wanted by Thomas Frank at Spurs as well to be a striking option. And this was also from David Ornstein at 6 p.m. that said that exclusive Nottingham Forest renewed pursuit of Johan Visser. Fresh offer made to Brentford for 28-year-old Congo striker. Bid falls under 25 million that Nottingham were prepared to pay in January window and considerably lower than the Brentford valuation in excess of 50 million. So are we really just going to let these muggy clubs like Nottingham Forest and Spurs and all these guys go in and get these signings of players that we should probably be going for, at least some of these players? Johan Visser being one of them, he's a great option. He would go very nicely along with Bryan Mbeumo. And people saying, they don't want to sell both of them. They're going to have to sell both of them. If a bigger club wants to come in and knocks on the door and Visser's just on the measly money that he's on there, and also they're a tiny leisure centre, community leisure centre of a football club, of course they're going to want to go to whoever comes a knocking. So Visser will be going this summer. He could be going to United, but he's probably going to end up going to Tottenham with Thomas Frank, again here with a cheap deal because he's only got a year left on his contract. Probably not 25 million, probably not 50 million, probably somewhere in the middle. 35 to 40 million pounds, somewhere in that region is what he's going to go for, which makes him an absolute bargain in this current climate. Yet we are not going in for him. We're not going in for a real good bargain striking option in the Prem, proven he scored 90 goals last season, 4 assists, and worked well alongside a player we are trying to sign for 70 million quid in Bryan Mbeumo. It boggles the mind how thick we are in this transfer window and how rubbish we are at actually going to get players in and letting all these players go elsewhere. It boggles the mind. What are we doing? Oh, thank you so much for your super chat there, Antigrathar Arinak. That's a great name, lad. He says, as I see it, there's two possibilities. Either United hierarchy never had a plan, or they can't adjust their plans as things change. Both possibilities are bad. Keep up the good work, Pig. Mate, thank you so much there, Antigrathar Arinak. Appreciate you, legend. Where are you from, lad? Is that Icelandic? Either way, legend. Thank you so much. Yeah, there you go. I mean, I don't really know what the hierarchy plan is. I think what it was, this is my humble opinion, I think what it was is to try and sell all of the players this summer and use that money to buy new players, basically. I think that's what it was. But it turns out nobody's actually come in and tried to sign our players. So that's left them without a plan B. I think that's what it is. We can't adjust. We haven't adjusted very well. And if we don't get the Mbeumo deal done, what are we going to do, What are we going to do? Yeah, precisely, Steve Barrero. Thank you for that, by the way, lad. Chrissy J, get in there, you legend. How you doing? Starting to think Ineos are purposely trying to devalue the club so much they can try and buy it on the cheap off the Glazers. Oh, my God. Just imagine. Solly Griffin, thank you so much for your super chat. He says, Pig, I'm wicked confused about how Man United are going to play with 2 number 10s. Bruno and Cunha are sort of the same kind of player. Well, I mean, that's it, really. We were expecting to see Bruno playing a bit deeper in behind. Otherwise, we've just got too much of a traffic jam of players in that number 10 position, don't we? We've got Bruno and Cunha and Xerxes and Ahmad, and we're going to be signing Mbeumo, and he's still got Mason Mount, and there's lots of players that could play that position now. So I think Bruno will be playing a deeper role for us, more of a number 8 sort of role for us. But again, we don't know what the plan is. You may well see in some games Bruno, Cunha and Mbeumo all on the pitch at the same time, and maybe one of them playing a false 9 or playing 9. You could see Mbeumo playing 9, maybe Bruno and Cunha in behind. That's also a possibility, but I don't know really. We've got a lot of number 10s. We've not got as many centre-backs as we'd like, considering the system that we play. Same with the wing-backs. Same with the central midfielders. But we're just collecting number 10s. It's quite strange. And of course, we need a number 9. Thank you so much for your super chats there, guys. Right, let's get back into it. So I am rather annoyed. If you're just joining the stream, please do us a favour here and smash that like button on it. Give us a massive like spike. Get yourself subscribed to the channel if you're new and have your say. We'd love to hear from you. Anyway, listen. So there's lots of business going on here. None of ours. I mean, there's another player here that's linked with Manchester United that's being worked on by another club, which is obviously Osimhen as well. Fab says that Osimhen deal's ongoing as Galatasaray work on bank guarantees with Napoli. Nico Jackson future open with the club's keen. Alvaro Carreras deal details. Gibbs White done too. Man United not involved for Gyokeres or Osimhen. So we're not involved for Osimhen. There is no real links there. We're not going in for him. But we probably should if we had any bottle about us. It's the money. The money is the problem there. The wages is the problem there. I get it. And it would probably only happen if there was a potential to do a swap deal with either Rashford or Garnacho going in the opposite direction to Napoli. That way it makes the overall cost of the deal, even with the wages, not that bad for a really top striker. So that's on the cards, but we're not doing it. It's not for us. We're not up for it. More on that situation. The deal for Viktor Osimhen has never been off so far, as talks are still underway with Napoli. Italian club insists to have bank guarantees as key step to accept 75 million in 5 years. So it even sounds like Napoli are prepared to do a deal on the never, playing on Klarna, getting the old man come round a couple of times a month, paying £3 a week. You know what I mean? That's what's going on here. They're getting it on the old never. for 5 years over, that's what they're potentially offering here. Now, surely Manchester United could beat that. That's all I'm saying. Surely we could beat that. 75 million euros. Yes, it's a lot of money. 65 million pounds. But with a deal for maybe an inclusion of somebody like Rashford, I feel like that deal becomes pretty reasonable. So I'm just starting to panic at the moment, is all I'm saying. It seems like teams are going for striking options that we should be going for. The likes of Vissa here, obviously Gyokeres going to Arsenal, seems like it. Osimhen maybe going back to Galatasaray. Who are we actually going to sign Dominic Calvert-Lewin? Is that going to be our frigging option? Because if it is, oh goodness me, just take my eyeballs now. If it is, you might as well cut him out right now, because I can't be doing well watching that guff this season. It's just linked, though, sadly. Abano, what's going on, lad? How you doing, mate? What you talking about? Gucci Watamane, thank you for your super chat. He says, I'll buy your got 15th. You can't expect big names to come yet. Focus should be on getting the trash guys out. That would be considered a good window. Yeah, no, I think you're right. I don't think we were ever expected to go and sign like the big daddies in this transfer window. I don't think we were realistically going to get people like the Gyokeres deal done. Maybe if we got the European football, but we didn't. And so because of that, yes, I think we are in that position where we are struggling to bring in the top tier talents. But even taking that aside, we haven't exactly made it easy to go and get players from smaller clubs either. We got Cunha from Wolves very quickly, and that was quite a good deal for us in terms of how hasty it was. But 62.5 million, it's money. It's a top rank deal. And then there's some Mbeumo deal. Let's face it, Brentford are a much smaller club, so we're not going for the top players. That's absolutely true. We're going for the players that are playing at lesser teams. And we're trying to entice them to come to a much bigger club, especially stature and history-wise. Maybe not right now in terms of football and abilities, because we're gash. But we are a sleeping giant, so we can still attract those sorts of players, which is who we've gone for. But we just can't seem to reach an agreement with Brentford for a final price for Mbeumo. It's absolutely a joke. And obviously, the more time that goes on, it's like Manchester United have a real problem without having preparations properly set up for the pre-season and also the Premier League campaign getting underway. Amorim is going to be left scratching around, probably trying to have to, introduce a couple of these melts back into the team that we don't want back into the team. We don't want these toxic melts in the team. The Sanchos, the Garnachos, the Rashfords. But we might actually have to introduce some back into the team if we can't sell them and we can't sign any other players, which it doesn't look very good at the moment. In fact, this is a report coming out tonight. I think it's via ESPN, but reports suggesting that Alejandro Garnacho has been given permission to join his Manchester United teammates in pre-season training at Carrington amid an uncertain future. Now, we know that, like, Rashford's training away. Certain players, Sancho's not really in what's going on with Sancho, but Garnacho apparently permission to join his Man United teammates in pre-season. So what does this mean? I guess that Garnacho will be introduced back into the side then, if Man United aren't prepared to, if we can't actually get a sale done for him. If he's impossible to sell this summer for whatever reason, we can't get the magic number that we need. No club wants him because at the moment, nobody's queuing up for Garnacho. You thought there would be bids in, but there haven't been. So for Garnacho, permission, to play in Manchester United's first team, essentially, and train with us at Carrington and all that sort of stuff. That means he's going to be on playing for the tour. That means he's going to be basically having a negative impact. The whole point of us potentially selling this guy this summer, and we know what's happened. We know what's happened behind the scenes. We know what's happened with the Aston Villa shirt, the comments he made post Europa League final. We've heard reports that United and Alejandro Garnacho is over this summer. That's what we've heard, that he will not be playing for United again, and that we were looking to try and sell him. But I guess if you can't sell these players, then what are you going to do with them? They're just going to be what? Hanging out in the reserves team, training on their own, and you're paying them big money when they could still be useful members of the squad, I suppose. I don't know. I still think the toxicity at this football club is a big problem. And as we mentioned earlier on, it's not just about who you sign, it's also about who you get rid of and having a better overall team vibe. And also, I like Garnacho as a player. I really do. I think he's got big potential, but he's got ideas above his station. He's a Billy Big Bollocks, too big for his boots, and he doesn't even fit in Amorim's system anyway. He doesn't. He's not a proper number 10. He's a winger in a team that plays a proper 4-3-3 or a 4-2-3-1. He's a winger. He's not going to be able to have the same effect coming central as often. Yes, you still take it wide in that area, but you're also expected to do a different role. You're playing the 10, you're in the hole, and you're supposed to be able to play those little through balls and create, and I just don't really think he has that in his locker to the same degree. He's better with a bit of space out wide, much like Rashford when they're running at players and they can cut inside and cause issues and all that sort of stuff. So Garnacho could be back training with us. I think it sends a poor message, to be fair. I personally think if we're going to sell these guys, Rashford, Sancho, Garnacho, then they shouldn't really be involved in anything that we're doing right now. Let's ask the live chat, guys. Would you reintroduce Alejandro Garnacho back into training with his teammates for pre-season at Carrington? Yes or no? Have your say. It's a little bit different to Rashford. It's a little bit different to Sancho. You know, those guys are really, really far gone at this football club, to the point where Rashford's twerking for other clubs, and Rashford's, you know, already said a few months ago that he wants a new challenge. So get your thoughts and opinions in. Would you reintroduce Garnacho back into first-team training? Have your say. No, no, no. Yes, Ruben's been shafted. Unfortunately, not Timo shafted, though. No, 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 no. Absolutely fucking not, says Beach Guy. These owners haven't got a clue what they're doing. No, it's a joke. Connor Walsh, how you doing, you legend? Yes, lad. No, Garnacho out. Son Goku, yes, mate. No, get him gone. Hell no. No player power. Exactly, guys. No, 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 no. Exactly. We all feel the same way on this one. Player power, you know, ego. Thinks he's too good. Thinks he's bigger and better than he actually is. Preparing to shit stir and post stuff on social media just to wind people up, such as him in the Villa shirt. That was the moment for me. That's what made him dead to me. You know, I've always loved Alejandro Garnacho as a young player. I thought he's going to go on and do amazing things. I've talked about him as some Messi Ronaldo hybrid at times in the past when he was an 18-year-old coming through, saying he has the talent one day to win a Ballon d'Or. You know, but I don't think he's got the attitude to do so. You know, you have to have the attitude, the professionalism to go along with the talent. And he does have talent, but you know what? His final product's shite. And he hasn't progressed well over the last year. Where's the progression for him the last year? It hasn't happened. So I think it's a bit of a poor showing from him for a while. Attitude-wise, it stinks. We were saying earlier on, there's quite a possible reason that some potential buyers of Alejandro Garnacho are looking at this guy and saying, you know what? He's probably more trouble than he's worth. He's a little bit of a problem child. He's a little bit of a troublemaker. He's got a gash haircut. You know, various different things. They might be looking at him going, he's unprofessional. Do we really want to sign a player that comes out after games and says that the team's playing like shit and questions the manager's selection of putting them in the final, etc.? And also the worst thing, posting a picture on Instagram of yourself in a different rival team's shirt. That really is a bitter blow. So stuff like that, surely it's a bit of a red flag for certain teams who might potentially be interested in Alejandro Garnacho. It's got to be a bit of a red flag, that, you know. So that's probably what's affected us being able to sell him, is him acting like a tit, him looking like a tit, him being a tit, and a memory of a man. And that's what's basically caused the issues there with not being able to sell him. I think if there was a decent offer on the table, you know, if we went out there before any of this business happened and offered him around for £50 million to teams, I think everyone would be very interested. But because he's had a bit of a shit season and has been very unprofessional over the summer, it's like nobody's queuing up. Yeah, what's Garnacho doing, though? He criticised the manager. Precisely, you can't get him back into the team after criticising the manager after Europa. Look, I get it. He's a passionate individual. He's come out. He said what he was feeling at the time. You know, he was gutted about not playing in the final. He wanted to play. I get all that, but have the conversation behind closed doors. You know, that's it. That's what we can't have. We can't have people making waves in the media, making waves, you know, in public. That's not what it's all about. If every family is going to have big arguments, every family, United family, is going to have their troubles. But you know what? You do it behind closed doors and you don't air your dirty laundry in public. And that's what these twats have been doing. People like Sancho, Garnacho and Rashford, these guys. That's exactly what they've been doing. So we don't have that going on at this football club, guys. We can't have people like that. So toxicity is the problem. We need to move players on. Alejandro Garnacho being one of them. End of the day, if he's introduced back into the side, I think it does undermine the manager a little bit. Maybe it's just a, I don't know, shop window thing. Potentially it could be. Maybe it could be a shop window thing where we're putting him in the team for pre-season and maybe he will actually get some games and perhaps he'll do well in those games, and then somebody out there will go, actually, you know what, Garnacho's a good signing, let's go in for him. I suppose that could happen. We do have the potential to pop him in the shop window this summer, so that could be going on. But at the end of the day, I guess if we can't reconcile with these players, they all have to go. You know, I even think Rashford could even be brought back into the side if we can't sell him. If we can't get a reasonable deal for us in terms of a loan or a transfer, and it just doesn't make sense financially at all to let him go somewhere else to pay him to play for them or whatever the case may be, then he might even get reintroduced. End of the day, Rashford's a better option at number 9 than Højlund, but I still don't think, that's going to happen. It would completely go back on everything that Amorim's been all about. It would completely go back on his principles that he's shown since coming in. He's already analysed certain players in this side, such as Rashford, and said that his attitude is not right. So it wouldn't send the right message to have him coming back into the team, would it? That's the problem there. Oh, dear, guys. Let me have a little sip here. If you're just getting in the stream, do us a favour, smash that like on it. Help us get to 200 likes on this stream. That would be amazing. Smash the thumbs up. Get yourself subscribed to the channel and have your say. We'd love to hear from you legends in the chat. Yep, FC Groningen, he says, we must be pragmatic too. We got, 23 non-youth players in the squad? We can't afford to ban multiple players from the squad if it's this small. Hey, it's a fair point. I personally don't really think we need like a 26-man squad this season, though. We don't have Europe. That is a big factor. We're going to have like 18 less games or however many less games it is this season. So I think we can have a little bit more of a tighter-knit squad. But it's already gone down in numbers a little bit because we've lost players like Lindelof, Johnny Evans, and, so we've already lost a couple. We've only signed a couple. Mbeumo news? You want some Mbeumo news, do you? You want some Mbeumo news? Oh, I'll give you some Mbeumo news, lad. I'll give you some Mbeumo news. Yeah? Mbeumo's expected to be coming out before GTA 6. That's the Mbeumo news, mate. There's a deal expected, I think GTA 6 is planned currently. It may change for May 26th, 2026, I believe. But I think Mbeumo's planned for some time before GTA 6 coming out, lad. No, this is the Mbeumo situation. Who knows, guys? Who knows? I mean, this is from Laurie Whitwell earlier. It just says, I still think it will happen. It's just that United have overpaid for players in the past, and Ratcliffe has an agenda to change that. And the club also feel like they should do that. It's prudent. Fuck off. No, I mean, I'm not buying it. The most prudent thing to do would be to just pay a few million quid extra right now, or even 3 weeks ago, and get that deal done for Mbeumo. And then, you've got the fan base buzzing. You've got these 2 new big signers to look forward to seeing playing in pre-season. You've given the manager at least a couple of beats to work with in pre-season. We can't get all of our players right at the start of the window. We get that. Sometimes it takes time to get the right deals, to negotiate and all that sort of stuff with other teams. But you can see lots of teams doing business. Spurs are able to move quickly on players. Arsenal are able to move quickly on players. United just get caught in these negotiation battles where we're trying to scrimp them down as much as possible to save a few quid. And that's what it's about. Trust me. Glinios, Glazers, Ineos, they're a bunch of shithouses. They're tighter than a duck's butt, these guys, with the amount that they spend sometimes, or at least the finer details. Okay, fair enough, it's a lot of money. We're talking about 65 fucking mil. But crikey, these guys are tighter than a crab's hiney, the way that they go about this. It's like, think about it. If you were actually serious, they would have just paid a few million extra weeks ago and got this man in. Now what we're having to do is probably going to end up paying close to what they wanted anyway, because otherwise we're going to be made to look absolute mugs by not having the bottle to get the deal done anyway. So we can't get the deal done for less, so they're just going to stand firm on what they want, and we'll probably end up paying the money anyway. So we are pathetic when it comes to negotiations, clearly. And do you know what? These Glazers, Ineos shithouses, this is all they're doing. This is how they're doing. They're not prepared to spend the extra few mil. It's like they're just trying to scratch and save everything they can. Oh, let's fucking, let's sack off a couple of dinner ladies. Do you know what I mean? Let's stop providing food at the canteen for staff, make them bring in their own packed lunches. Let's stop these fucking funds going into the former player association and things like that. Let's just sack off all these stuff left, right and centre, Oh, what's that? No, we don't need to use modern technology. No, we can make do with 1990s gym equipment. You know what I mean? This is their attitude. That's it. They're always just cost-cutting, saving, penny-pinching, and they've done that since they've come in. Ineos, I'm talking to you, Ineos. Glazer shithouses have spent money, and they spent it fucking awful, is what they've done. But these Ineos melts have come in, and what have they done? All they've done is scrimp and save in the wrong areas. Oh, yeah, we're going to sack off loads of staff. Yeah, we're going to stop bonuses. Yeah, we're going to do all this stuff that just negatively impacts the average working man at the football club. But we're going to keep Melts on 200 grand a week who are shite. We're going to build a £2 billion stadium, even though we're not flush at the moment and we're in fucking 800 million debt because those guys are shithouses still. You know, what is going on behind the scenes at the club with these Ineos Glazer Melts? Are they just trying to lambast us in an immense amount of debt for generations to come? Is that what they're trying to do? Because it seems like it. We haven't got $2 billion there to build the fucking stadium, so where is all of these funds coming from anyway? It's going to be borrowed money, it's going to be debt money, it's going to be more strain on Manchester United for the future. These wankbags aren't putting in $2 billion of their own fucking money. So what, they're going to either expect councils to pay for it, the fucking government to pay for some of it, and obviously they're going to loan a lot of the money. So I think it's just an absolute disgrace that they're even talking about a stadium at the moment, considering all the problems we do have at the football club and all the penny pinching they've done in all the departments of the football club. They are so out of touch with the average man or woman who supports Manchester United that it's not even funny. They don't have any clue whatsoever. The Glazers sat in their ivory tower, mincing it up in fucking Florida or wherever, the shithouse freaking Glinios or whatever, you know, producing petrochemicals in their spare time, not giving a fuck about United, more interested in bloody piss poor F1 or fucking cycling, it seems. You know what I mean? Invest in the fucking football team. Come on. We should have been the most active team in this transfer window if we had ambitious owners. If we had any bottle about us, we'd be signing 6 players by now. We would be doing what City and Chelsea and Arsenal and Liverpool and even Spurs now are doing, which is signing players. That's what we'd be doing. But instead, we're sitting on our thumbs, and these guys are just fingering pies all over the world because I think they've just only got a certain level of interest in Manchester United. It's just another string to their bow, isn't it, these tossers? We've got the shittest owners in the game. The shittest owners in the game, guys. And I think we basically just doubled down on our shit owners when Ineos came in as well. That's it. It just guaranteed the Glazers are going to stay. They've got their little extra lackey minions or whatever to blame. But ultimately, it's not really improved our situation at all. We haven't still got any sugar daddy or any true fan that's going to put money into the football club to make us better. Still got the same shithouse melters running the football club. Anyway, you know, so there's no excuses though. So many teams doing business. If you just join the stream, you know, look, so Kudu gone to Spurs. That's done today. They only started talking a few days ago. Napoli are thought to be okay to accept a deal from Galatasaray over a 5-year period if they can give them bank assurances or whatever. So they even prepared to do business there. Galatasaray are going to buy a €75 million player, a big world star. But we're not. We're not. Gibbs White, he's also gone to Tottenham. £60 million release clause. Done. Here we go. Oh, no, is it done? No. Yeah, it's already basically done. You know, medicals booked, Gibbs White to Spurs. It's basically a here we go. You know, Visser, Nottingham Forest are going for Visser. So are Spurs. Spurs, yesterday we discussed it, thought to be interesting going for Johan Visser. It makes sense. He's got a year left. He's a cheap addition. Thomas Frank was his manager. Thomas Frank has that relationship. He's proven to score goals in the league. So he could be had for 30 million, 35 million pounds maybe, a cheap deal because of the length of time on his contract. But we aren't going for him. Nottingham Forest renew pursuit of Johan Visser. Absolute shambles. What about this, guys? What about this? I mean, how fucking janky are we? That all of the players that leave Manchester United go on to do absolute bits, it seems, and then move for loads of money. We don't get fuck all for these players when we sell them. We can only get small sell-on percentages, and we don't seemingly have the ability to highlight these actual talents. Do you know what? It's this Eric Ten Hag mug again, isn't it? Hang on, correct me if I'm wrong. Was it Eric Ten Hag who oversaw Alvaro Fernandez's sale, guys, right? It was, wasn't it? It was that Dutch conehead melt once again. This guy stitched us up more so than you could ever imagine, this guy. Goodness. Some of the players we signed under Eric Ten Hag, some of the players we let go. David De Gea, for instance, let him go. Goodness me, what a melty decision. Anyway, it was Eric Ten Hag, wasn't it? Let this guy go. He could have had a good time of it. You know, we've let lots of good talents fall by the wayside without giving them opportunities. Alanga was another one. You know, even Pellistri. These sorts of guys were never really given opportunities at Manchester United by that Dutch conehead. And look, we let this guy go, and now he's going to go on and do great bits, isn't he? We are stitched up. We stitched ourselves up. Look, Exclusive, Alvaro Carreras to Real Madrid. Here we go. Verbal agreement in place between Real and Benfica. Real negotiated to pay 50 million euros in multiple installments instead of one payment clause. How much did we sell him for again, guys? Please, somebody tell me. I know we're getting about 5 to 8 million euros, somewhere in that region, for his sell-on, which is great. Nice one. But how much did we actually sell this guy for? I can't remember now. Real negotiated to pay 50 million euros. We sold him for 6 million euros. Is that what you're telling me, Warby lad? You what? Goodness me, we are so bad when it comes to selling players. We're so bad when it comes to buying players. We sell players for absolute chump change, cheap as chips deals, and we pay massively over the odds for all players. Yeah, we sold him for peanuts. Anyway, there you go. So he has gone to Real Madrid. Here we go. Verbal agreement in place, or at least he's going. Real Madrid have negotiated to pay 50 million euros. And it also says as soon as Man United confirm they don't activate buyback clause, Alvaro will travel. Oh yeah, we're really gonna exercise our buyback clause on that one, aren't we? So obviously he's gonna travel and join Real Madrid. There's no way we're paying whatever it is. I mean, I don't know what the buyback clause is. I am assuming we get first refusal to negotiate with the player for the same fee that a team is offering. That's what it usually is, i.e., we'll match the fee or match the offer of the team that's coming in, basically, deal. But it could be a bit less, I suppose, but I just don't see United going in for him right now. Pathetic, isn't it? Anyway, pathetic. So, and also, Madueke, guys. Madueke is now an Arsenal player. So this is from Fab this evening. They've got that done pretty quickly, really, as well, compared to us. Maybe it was a week or so they were discussing that, but a lot quicker than us. Exclusive, Noni Madueke to Arsenal. Here we go. Fee agreed in excess of £50 million with add-ons, including green light from Chelsea. Madueke's already agreed 5-year deal at Arsenal days ago, and he's now set to complete the move. What a debacle. What a true debacle from Man United this window. We're being left behind, even more so than we already were. And trust me, we were far behind everybody as it was, without anybody signing any players and strengthening. Yeah, Erik ten Hag made an absolute fortune out of us, didn't he, on the back of us? You're no conspiracy theorist. Mate, what is the deal there? Didn't he have some vested interest in some sort of agency, football agency or some shit? I don't know the finer inner workings of the deal, but I tell you what, this guy stinks. He stinks like that surströmming fish from the Netherlands. He's a stinker, this Erik ten Hag, I tell you. He really is. If you think about it, goodness me, he stitched his football club up for 600 million quid, and he's not even got the common courtesy to come and sign one of his rejects back just to make it even look like he actually thought that these guys were good. No, I think he's just lambasted up with shit players on purpose, this twat. You know what I mean? Think about it. If he really was keen on these players, if he really thought that much, goodness me, it's only a couple of years ago you signed after these twats. Wouldn't you want them now that they're available at cut price? Don't you want your mate Anthony Dos Gastos, the golden child of the fucking favelas, to come in and play for your mate? No? No? Because you signed him twice. You brought him over to Ajax from Brazil, then you brought him to Manchester from Ajax. So why the fuck don't you want this twat anymore? He's your busy mate, isn't he? He's your greatest young talent. Why the fuck don't you want him? You paid 85 million quid for him at United. He's available for 35. It's a snip. But no, he's not interested. You know why? Because he's shit, that's why. And he signed a bunch of shit players and left them all at Man United. It's like somebody's added themselves as manager in Football Manager. You know, ever do this back in the day when you were a cheating little spotty little melt? I did. You know, add yourself in as Liverpool at the start of the game and buy like fucking one of your shit players or something. You know what I mean? Buy like Eric Jemba for 70 million quid at the start and then sell yourself Michael Owen for fucking 2 mil. You know, that's what Erik ten Hag done basically. It seems like that. It seems like he's added himself in a cheat code in the fucking Football Manager game, mate. Telling you. Because how else would we pay that much money for those players and we can't even sell them for a third of the price? Something stinks about that, guys. Something absolutely stinks about Erik ten Hag. He's a smelling bastard when it comes to the transfer debacle that he put Manchester United in. Anyway, we're still paying for it now because it's going to be several windows to all of these guys that we signed from him are gone. Good luck getting rid of Onana. Good luck getting rid of Anthony Dos Gastos, Højlund, etc. Crikey, these are hundreds of millions of pounds worth of players we signed and we can't even sell them for half their prices. Joke. And breathe. Oh, God. What a fucking shit night to be a Manchester United fan. It's all kicking off for all these different clubs, and United left pulling our plonker. It's the story of the summer. That's what's been going on, and it probably will continue to go on. Look, Ben Jacobs reporting 5 minutes ago as well. Arsenal and Chelsea have agreed a £52 million fee for Noni Madueke. Deal currently being finalised. Unclear if Madueke will feature in World Club Cup final. He trained this morning as usual. Madueke's already agreed terms on a 5-year contract. So that's done as well. That's absolutely done as well. I'm just going to have a look, see if there's any updates coming in from any of the journos tonight in regards to Manchester United. No, there isn't. Didn't really need to look long because it's just so slow from Man United this window. So slow. We know there's just nothing going on. Pathetic. You know, I remember a couple of seasons ago, we were doing these late night transfer news streams. I'm sure a lot of you probably remember if you were here at the time. And there would always be things popping off, little bits and bobs of news coming in about, oh, you know, we're in for this guy, we're in for that guy, we've sold this guy, whatever. There's an offer in. Not anymore, guys, not anymore. We can't seem to do anything in this window. Ineos and the Glazers have rendered us unconscious as a football club, it seems. Right, let's get stuck into the live chat. Once again, you can repost us on X, links at the top of the live chat. I'll shout everyone out who's reposted us real quick over there. Thanks, everyone, for sharing. 7 legends have reposted. Big ups to Aaron, Craig GC, Kieran, Chris Bamo, William, John Boy Cat, and Larry Hasser. Thank you so much for reposting. Give us a follow there on X. Also, hit the subscribe button on this channel, Flying Pig United on YouTube. We're on here daily and nightly with the latest Manchester United news and going on. Get yourself smashing the like, get yourself smashing the subscribe button, and have your say in the live chat, which we're going to dip into now. We're going to have a big Q&A. I'm pissed off. You're pissed off. Let's be pissed off together. Have your say, folks, and thanks for joining us. I'm sweating my munt off now. It's 27.9 degrees in here, guys. What the fuck's going on today? It's roasting. I'm just going to be a hog roast by the end of this video. I'm sweating. Look at me. Look at that. Look at that right there. That's a bead of sweat. There's another bead of sweat. I'm sweating. Do you think the transfer for this window, last window, are deliberate? Glazers and Ineos don't want to spend and we're in trouble. I mean, maybe, RK. I've seen some conspiracy theories going around. Get this. Hear me out here. Hear me out here. Listen to this. Now, this sounds crazy, but this is the Glazers and Ineos we're talking about. Okay? The penny pinching extraordinaire. Scrimping bastards. Right? There are some rumblings that given that a player like Bryan Mbeumo would cost so much money and that he's going to be on at least £150,000 a week, potentially up to £200,000 a week, let's say 150, that's £600,000 in a month. And that just by the fact that they haven't signed Bryan Mbeumo for 1 month has saved them £600,000. Now, there is some conspiracy to say that they've maybe planned for this. Now, I personally don't think that that's true. I think that would be insane to just leave a player there, sat there, leave him on red, and just basically have him waiting there with the chance that maybe another club could come in or whatever, and you're not prepared to just pay that few million extra until right at the end there, or to try and spend that time to get the deal down, try and save a few quid, but also to save the wages, you know, to save the wages, guys, for a month. Because if you don't buy him until, you know, just before the tour starts, then you've saved 600,000. You've saved a month's wages. Now, ordinarily, we'd all be saying, that's ridiculous, but we're talking about the Glazers here. We're talking about Ineos. It wouldn't surprise me, is all I'm saying, if that happened. Yeah, Burbalad, how you doing? He says, wouldn't surprise me, to be honest. They'd rather save a few quid than integrate him into the squad. Precisely. That's it. And maybe they're thinking as well, as long as we get him done, you know, mid-July, and he's there for the tour, what difference does it make whether or not we get him in mid-June or mid-July? To me, it means the world of difference if we'd got him done a month ago. It means the world of difference because it sets a tone for the window. It sends a message not just to your own squad, manager, and, you know, people in the club, but also opposition teams, also potential new signings, players that are maybe interested in joining United, but are a little bit concerned about the situation. If they see United signing lots of other big players early, it does reassure them a little bit. We've missed out on all of that. So if you're a potential player looking at joining United now, you know, it's like they haven't done a lot of business. You're concerned. You would be more concerned than not, you know, more so than not if you finished 15th the season before and then you haven't really strengthened. Yeah, viewers' choices. New stadium at this rate will be completed in 20 years. By then, the Mbeumo deal will still be pending. Is it really 20 years of YouTube today? Wow, mate, that's crazy. Well, I've been on here about 13 years myself, so I've seen Seen in quite a lot of that time. Pretty nutty. 20 years, is it? Wow, happy birthday to YouTube. That's mad. This club's stressing and getting fans tired. 100% lad. Glazios are trying to get Amorim fired on purpose for Southgate. And I don't want that donkey, mate. Southgate's not the answer, is he, mate? That would be agonising. Absolutely agonising. Has Tottenham bid for Adam Wharton, Piggy? That's the rumour. I mean, I haven't seen any confirmation of them bidding. No, I haven't seen any confirmation, but maybe there is, some firm links there at the moment, but I haven't seen anybody bidding, no. It's all about Madueke, Gibbs, White, Kudu all tonight in terms of these deals and stuff. I haven't seen any bids for Wharton. We're not going for Wharton anyway ourselves, are we? He's another one of those good young talents that we could be snapped up this summer, but we won't do it. It's like we can't attract these players right now. It's like Declan Rice. When Declan Rice went to Arsenal, yes, it was for a lot of money, but that was that sort of he's going to go on to do good things in the future. It's that sort of real big potential young signing. But we're not going to do that because it'll probably cost 60 to 80 mil, and we're not going to do that. They sacked the lunch lady after all. Yeah, Spurs are smashing it up. I know, they're cooking us in the transfer window again. Deliberately bringing him in after training starts would be extremely stupid. Totally agree, FC Groningen, lad. But maybe they're thinking as long as he's on the tour and gets 5 pre-season games, then it doesn't matter. Perhaps what they're thinking, and it saves them 600k. I'm just saying. It's possible. It's possible with these penny pinching shithouses. What's up there, CJ's bullies? We need the money to the new stadium. Oh, I don't even care about that, myself. I want to see the team better first. Yeah. Andre Johansson, what's going on? Are you going crazy if Spurs get Wharton as well? I would not be happy at all, mate, no. And also they might even be going to get Visser as well as a cheap option. And think about it, Thomas Frank has that relationship with Brentford. So surely if they're going to sell a player for a good deal to anyone, it's probably going to be their ex-trusted manager who they've got a good relationship with. You would think he left there on good terms and everything. So I think that they would like to do a deal with Thomas Frank and Spurs. If they're going to lose Visser anyway, we've heard of Nottingham Forest. We were talking about that earlier, that Visser is being pursued by Nottingham Forest here. This is via David Ornstein. And that a fresh offer has been made for Visser. Bid falls under £25 million. So I expect Spurs are still going to do a bit of business this summer. They're going to strengthen massively. All the top clubs have strengthened massively already. If you look at City signings, they've done some brilliant things. In fact, let me just go and get this list up here, guys. Let me have a look. All transfers this summer. Sky, whatever. Summer transfer window. Here we go. Players ins and outs. Let me just have a quick look. So far, Arsenal have got in Kepa, backup keeper, Martin Zubimendi, Christian Norgard. That's what they've definitely had done now. But what they've also got lined up is, Gyokeres and obviously, Madueke now as well. So that'll be added to that list as well. So that's pretty decent. That's very decent, much better than us. And you look at the players they've got rid of. There's some big players in there, actually, that they've got rid of, that they've released. They've had significant outgoings. Thomas Partey, Takahiro Tomiyasu as well, Marquinhos, Nuno Tavares to Lazio for 4.3 mil, Kieran Tierney, Celtic on a free, Jorginho, Flamengo on a free. They've had some outgoings. Okay, most of these players leaving on a free or released or whatever, but still. Now, Aston Villa have had, they've signed Yasin Ozcan and Redmond. They haven't really done any business. We knew they wouldn't. They've sold a few players. Philippe Coutinho's gone to Vasco da Gama undisclosed. They've released a few players. We know that they have financial troubles though, Aston Villa, hence why they sold the rights to their ladies club and all that sort of stuff, whatever it is. They are skint, which increases the likelihood that they're prepared to maybe listen for an offer for somebody like Watkins, Bournemouth have got a couple of players, Krupi and Truffer. They haven't really done much. They've sold lots of players for big money, though. They've really done well in terms of generating cash from player sales. They got 40 million for Kirkes, 50 million for Huijsen, and they signed them for peanuts. So Bournemouth are a good club, much like Brighton, where they will recruit well, spend well, and they are a selling club. They can't keep their top talents. They're a selling club, but they're always been that cycle. And they're making good money. They're signing and identifying great players in the past, and they're selling them for 50 million. So that's what they've been doing. They're doing well for them. They haven't signed anybody significant, but they probably will now they've got this money. Brentford have got Coyote, Donovan, Kelleher, Milambo. No significant signings there, really. They paid 80 million for Kelleher, 18 million for Milambo. Out, they've seen Norgard go, Flecken, Ben-Mee, and potentially Visser, potentially Mbeumo, right? They need some more incomings, I suppose. Definitely with players outgoing. Brighton Brighton are just one of the best teams when it comes to recruitment in the whole entire league, aren't they? They make us absolutely embarrassed with the talents that they discover and then sell on. You know, João Pedro's just gone to Chelsea. That's another great player we would have had. Anyway, but look, they've got De Kuyper from Club Brugge for 17.3 million. He'll probably turn out to be great if they've identified him as a good player, who probably is. Brighton are very good when it comes to recruitment there. Boskagli as well, you know, that's a very good signing as well, I think, Boskagli. Coppola, Diego Coppola there from Hellas Verona for 9 million. Tom Watson from Sunderland for 10 mil, not the golfer. Yoon Do-yong as well. Sharampolis Kostoulas from Olympiacos for 31.7 million, and Niels Ramming from Eintracht Frankfurt. So Brighton doing 6 or 7 signings already. Some of them, you know, going to fly under the radar. Most of them going to fly under the radar, but I bet you most of them turn out to be good signings because they have the ability to just pluck out these talents from anywhere, whereas we've lost that ability. We used to have that ability of a football club with our scouting network and our recruitment being right up there with the very best, where we were able to sign these obscure players from wherever and make them a great player and then come in and do great things, be it a Chicharito Hernandez coming from Guadalajara for 9 million or whoever. You know, we could always find talent, but we can't anymore. We can't anymore. Not like Brighton can, not like Bournemouth can. We can't do it anymore. We're so bad at it. Friggin' Burnley have signed like 8 players, mate. They've signed Walker, Chuana, Axel Twanzebe on a free transfer from Ipswich, Hartman, Humphrey, Jadon Anthony from Bournemouth for 10 mil, Marcus Edwards, Zion Fleming, Max Weiss from Karlsruhe. Okay, so obviously most of them are just like, who the fuck are those guys? But Burnley, you know, coming up to the Premier League, they're having a strength. They've got some shrewd signings there. Kyle Walker, you're not going to get a much more experienced, good right back for a Premier League team coming up, are you, at the moment than him? Yes, he's lost his pace a bit, but ultimately, what a fucking cracking signing that is for 5 mil from Burnley. You know what I mean? They got rid of Redmond, John Joe Shelby, Egan Riley. Sorry if I'm boring you guys. Let me just do the big clubs here because we've only got down to B. Let me just do the big clubs here. This is the point I wanted to make. Chelsea, Gittins, they've signed for 51.5 million. João Pedro, Brighton, 60 million. Liam Delap, Ipswich, 30 million. Esteval Willian from Palmeiras for 30 million. Dario Esugo from Sporting for 18.5 million. And Mamadou Sarr from Strasbourg, undisclosed fee. They've seen Kepa go to Arsenal for 5 mil. Bettinelli's gone to City, undisclosed. And Bashir Humphrey's gone to Burnley, undisclosed. Right? Fucking unbelievable, isn't it? It's unbelievable. And then let's go down and have a look at Liverpool's transfers. Milos Kerkez in from Bournemouth, 40 million. Florian Wirtz in from Bayer Leverkusen, 160 million. Jeremy Frimpong in from Bayer Leverkusen, 29.5 million. Fucking bargain. Georgi Mamadishvili in from Valencia, 29 million. Reckon he's going to be boss. Armin Pesti coming in, and Freddie Woodman as well from Preston on the free. Yes, they lost Trent. Yes, they lost Kelleher, Kwanzaa. But fuck me, they've done really well this transfer window. They got rid of Trent, they brought in Frimpong for half the money, you know, they've done brilliant. Manchester City have signed Reinders, Nori, Bettinelli, and Ryan Cherky already this summer. And hang on, who's the lad? Didn't I see they signed some young 18-year-old lad from PSG? What's his name again? Another big young talent. Yes, they've released De Bruyne. Yes, they've got rid of Kyle Walker, Scott Carson. But again, they've improved themselves. They've refreshed. They've made themselves better. So far, United have only got Mateus Cunha and Diego Leon, which was already arranged previously. Eriksen's gone, Lindelof's gone, Evans is gone. That's just not enough, guys. That is truly pathetic. And you look around the rest of the team, look around the rest of the teams in the Premier League. Now Tottenham have got Danso from RC Lens for 20 million, Vuskovic from Hajduk Split, Tell, they made that move permanent. Matthijs Tell from Bayern for 29.8, Mohamed Kudu for 55, and now Gibbs White as well, don't they? So they're doing bits. It's like we are so far behind everyone, guys. That's it. I'm not going to go into any other teams' work. Most of them have done better business than us, though. That's what I'm saying. That's the point I'm making. It's just that lots of clubs are strengthening big time, and we aren't. We're going to be left behind once again. Solly Griffin, thank you so much for your super chat there. Solly says at least you'll be able to see the youngsters play. You never win anything with kids. You never win anything with kids. No, okay, fair enough. I mean, look, we're going to have to maybe blood some people through there, aren't we? But we probably won't be playing the youngsters. What we end up doing is just playing gash bags like friggin' Luke Shaw. You know, and playing players that probably shouldn't be here, like Hoyland, you know, and Andre Onana and these sorts of guys. I don't see us really giving opportunities to a lot of youngsters. We will give a couple, I'm sure. You know, I'd like to see and think that Diego Leon's going to be included in a bit this season. We'll see what he's like in pre-season. I think we're going to see quite a lot from, Aiden Heaven and Yoro and those centre-backs at the back there, those youngsters. Collier and Mainu. But ultimately, we do need a mixture of experience. We do need some proven Premier League experienced players who can just slot in there and sort of deal with the pressure of Manchester United right now, ready-made. Minoda, how you doing there, you absolute Liverpool scummer? No, I hope you're doing well, you legend. How you doing? Thank you for joining us. United acting like the scrubbers at a car boot, not selling stuff and pissing about on buying stuff. Oh, yeah. Oh, yes, mate, 100%. We couldn't sell a rug on Vinted, us twats. Yeah, absolutely nice one, Russell, lad. Shaw can do one. At least loan out the Deadwood. Well, that's probably what it's going to be, mate. If they can't convince any club out there to be crazy enough to bid, 40 million for Rashford and pay 350 grand a week, then probably a loan move makes the most sense. But it probably will be a loan move where we pay a significant percentage of their wages because nobody else is going to pay them what we pay them. It's a fucking joke. Luke Shaw would be in prison. He's been stealing a living for way too long now. Yeah, I'm with you there, lad. Yeah, and only 3 Frey Bentos pies a day he's allowed. Supporting this club isn't for the faint of heart. So much frustration when it could and should be much better. You just said it yourself. Could and should be much better. Don't tell me this window couldn't have been better executed so far. And it should have been better executed so far. We should be in a position where we're talking about us having at least a few good signings. When you consider all those teams we've just gone through who signed a lot of really good players, then how the hell are we so far behind? Especially when we finished 15th and we had to strengthen. And people would say, well, okay, but these players are going to other clubs. Fine. Let's get players that we can sign. Let's get players who want to play for United. They're out there. Cunha was desperate to play for us. And Mbeumo wants to play for us. There are players, good players, who want to play for us. They're not all going to want to play for us. If there's a deal on the table for Chelsea, look at Liam Delap. He's going to go there. If there's a deal on the table for Gyokeres, for Arsenal, he's going to go there, But not everyone wants to play for us. But we still can sign good players. And we haven't done so. By the way, we got 400 legends in here tonight. Shout out to all the legends in the live chat. Thank you very much for joining us. We're on our way to 91,250 subscribers. If you're new to the channel, I'll ask you to click that red button down below that says subscribe. Click that red button, get yourself subscribed. It's free. We're on here daily and nightly, so get involved with us on this channel, Flying Pig United, where we cover all the latest Man United news. Nice one. Right, we're going to continue with this Q&A, guys. We're going raw tonight, guys. This is a great chat tonight, guys. Thank you, everyone, for having your say. Are you a legend? It depends, really. Who do you support again there, Nas? Pig, in your opinion, which Prem side has done the best in the transfer window? So I would have to say I am most impressed so far with Liverpool's dealings. I think Liverpool, even though they have spent a shitload on Wirtz, look, they've set the stall out. They've shown that intent. You can only respect it. And then the other signings they've made as well, I think Frimpong replacing the outgoing Trent is a masterstroke, especially considering the price tag they got him for. Chelsea are another one. Obviously, they're just chucking money at every player. They're signing all the players. They'll probably continue to sign some more now, especially as they've got the money coming from the Club World Cup success. They apparently stand to make about 80 million, maybe 90 million altogether if they win it. So it's a huge amount of money that they're going to get. It's an extra windfall that they'll be able to use to put to good use, I'm sure. So they'll probably be signing some more players. So I think it's probably between them two at the moment. Liverpool doing well. I mean, City have had a good window. Yeah, City have had a good window. Spurs are starting to have a decent window as well, especially if they do get the likes of Wharton or Visser. If they can add that to what they've already got, that will be looking like a great window for Spurs. You think relegation battle? Oh my God. After our worst season in modern history, you'd think we'd be doubling down on new signings. I would have thought this would have been one of the most busy transfer windows for Man United for years. Genuinely thought that was coming. They were going to back the manager. They were going to spend the money. They were going to smash the cash. They were going to really try and fix this mess this summer. That's what I thought was going to happen. I really thought we were going to have a very busy window. It just hasn't happened. You miss Ollie, even miss the Mourinho days. Oh man, Ollie was a damn saint at this football club. You think West Ham with that coach will go down? You think Bruno's leaving? I don't think so. I mean, he's already, unless there was a big offer from Europe, something similar to what we were talking about a month ago with a Saudi interest, unless there's a deal from, Real Madrid or Bayern or Barca or something like that, I just can't see Bruno going, man. And there's not great value in buying Bruno in at 31 if you're one of those teams. You're fuming with United, a club sabotaged. Ruben might actually walk. Hey, I would be massively in awe and respect him massively if he did that. because it just truly shows what a disgraceful run club it is if he cannot, if he finds it untenable, basically. He can't stay because he's not been given the tools to do the job. You're asking a bricklayer to build a wall with a fucking pencil and a photocopier. It's not going to help you. You need a trowel. You need a cement mixer. You need, a fucking piece of string. You know what I mean? You need a lot more than that to build a wall as well. It's like you've got to have the right tools. Most impressed by Spuds. Fair play. They've had a little late flurry, haven't they? They've made a couple of really quick signings. They've not taken long over it. That's what I like. I'm impressed by the speed at which these clubs are moving, and very let down by the slowness of our club. Mateus Cunha won't do everything alone. Need about minimum 2 to 3, maybe more quality players in. Well said, Rashad. You're not wrong. 2 to 3, yes. Certainly. I would have said 4 minimum at the start of the window, and I'm still saying that. So Cunha and Mbeumo, a striker and a goalkeeper is the bare minimum of what we need. Beyond that, we could definitely do with a central midfielder and a wing-back. Most impressed with us, how we are so shit is beyond incomprehensible. Oh, you're a legend, Nas. You're a legend. You missed the Phil Jones attack on your streams, Pig. You got to make Luke Shaw the new Phil Jones. That's a great shout, Devils are Red, yeah. That just randomly stopped one day. I don't know. I never actually had that set up. It was just a glitch on Stream Elements. PSG 3, Chelsea 0. Yeah, go on, PSG. I hope so, lad. Burbis says Liverpool and Arsenal, the 2 best clubs, and they're still not resting, spending really well. We're 15th and looking for coins down the sofa. That's exactly what's happening, isn't it? Yeah, that's absolutely right. Those teams are making strides to get even better. Just to remind you, Liverpool finished on double the amount of points we did. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think they got 84 and we got 42. That's exactly double the amount of points, and yet they're the ones going out there strengthening. Liverpool is Brad Pitt, we're Toby Jones. Oh. Lee Dixon getting in there raw. Thank you so much there, Jamie Riley. I appreciate you, my son. Jamie Riley getting in here with a super chat, lad. He says, you're smashing it, Joe. Thank you so much, Jamie. You're smashing it there too, lad. I appreciate it. What's your thoughts on the Gooners signings? Manoda, I've got to say, they're looking good, aren't they? Madueke's now been done. They're working on Gyokeres. They've got Zubamendi. They've got Norgard. They've got, who else they get? They're also working on 1 or 2 others. I think it's going to be, it's not quite as impressive to me as some of the other clubs, but it's up there. They're definitely making strides, and all things considered, they finished second and got to a Champions League final. They're trying to close the gap. They're trying to do what they can to improve and maybe close the gap to be able to challenge for a title. So fair play to them. Ruben said, good times are coming. Who's he kidding? When are the good times coming? Probably when the shithouse Glazers are finally out in a million years. If you respect Amarim for jumping ship, then the same goes for Rashford. No, it doesn't, mate, because no, it doesn't at all. I'm talking about Amarim walking away from his job for free. That's what I'm saying. He's not going to get any money. It's not a mutual termination, or maybe it would be a mutual termination, but he's essentially walking away for free. We're not talking about him being paid off. We're not talking about him waiting to get a new contract from a new club and getting paid 350k a week. What that means by Amarim walking away or jumping ship, whatever you say, what we're saying is that means that Ruben Amarim's so disgusted by the lack of movement, he's prepared to walk away from fucking 10 million, 12 million a year contract, whatever the fuck he's on, at Manchester United, because they are not giving him the tools to do the job, and he's going to make himself look incapable when it's actually not his fault. It's the recruitment that's the fault. So that's what we're saying here. We're saying that Amarim, if he left, it would be him leaving. It wouldn't be him, being paid off. It would be him saying, I'm done. I am resigning. That's what we're saying here. Russell Bland, thank you so much for your super chat as well there, Russell lad. Come on, he says Liverpool got more for Trent than United got for Elanga, and his contract was done. Even as a rival fan, I think United's situation is woeful. On a human level, you'll be fine, Pigs. It's only footy. Thank you, Russell. Yes, well, we got bent over for Elanga in the end. I think we sold him for like 20 mil. He's ended up going for 55. Same goes for Alvaro Fernandez. We let him go for peanuts. He's now going for 50 million. Goodness me, we let go of Scott McTominay. He's gone and won the league for Napoli. We really are terrible when it comes to keeping, identifying good talents, whatever. We are terrible. Solly Griffin, thank you for your super chat. Do you think Thomas Frank will be good for Spurs? I do, actually, Solly, yeah. I do. I think he'll be better, potentially, than, Ange Postecoglou. Ange Postecoglou is just too much of a passion merchant. There's not enough substance there with the defensive tactics or the emphasis on the actual finer intricacies of getting results in games. It's all just attack. There's no real, which is great. It's great from a perspective of watching it from a fan, but it's not great if you actually want to win things. I know he won that trophy in Europa. I still can't believe that. But still, I think Thomas Frank will be good. He's done really well getting Brentford up to the Prem, establishing them as a Prem team, and having them play good football. And also, he seems like somebody that can really coach talents really well. Like, for instance, Visser was a player they bought in for not a lot of money. I believe last season, was there an injury at the start of the season, maybe? Start of the season, or what happened? Was it maybe it was the season before last? Sorry, not James Toney. I was going to say James Toney. He's a boxer. Ivan Toney or Mbeumo or whoever it was injured for a while, which meant that Vista got in there, and he's basically just taken his opportunity. And you've got to say the coaching from the manager seems very good. The progression of talent seems good. I think he probably will do very well. Amorim hates so dumb. He was unbeaten in Europe. I know, mate. I know. Look at how his Sporting team were playing against teams like Man City in the Champions League before he came. He's no mug. He just needs time to build it, and he needs the tools to do it. He needs the players he needs and he wants. And you should give him the players he needs and wants before the pre-season starts so he can work all summer long with this team. Rashford, arguably the worst of all the outgoings. Well, he's going to be difficult to sell. That's it. He's one of the most difficult to get rid of as well. Onana will be the biggest curse on our team. He can cost us 15 points if we're playing with him this season. Happy birthday, Paula! Piggy Rashford is beginning to realise that the apron strings need to be severed. He's not been without his safety net, neither has his entourage. I feel like he's surrounded by a bunch of fucking yes men, that guy. He goes up to them and says, hey guys, do I look good in my fucking mink coat and my gashtastic Elton John style star pink rose glasses? And they're like, yeah, Rashford, you look fucking cracking, mate. Yeah, go down Tesco's wearing that, bud. Great idea. But in reality, he looks like a fucking tit. And I feel like he's got yes men around him saying, oh, you're bigger and better than this. You don't need this shit right now. You should be winning fucking La Ligas and playing in Ballon and getting nominated for Ballon d'Ors and all this shit. And he's got this idea above his station, doesn't he? He's another one of those. I don't know. Wants a new challenge? Come on, mate. It's supposed to be Manc born and bred. You're supposed to want to see Manchester United get back to the glory days. You're supposed to be a catalyst of that. You're supposed to be a big part of that. You're supposed to be a soldier for this football club, mate. No, you're not, are you? You're just a tit. We are so cooked, it seems this nightmare will never end. This is like Nightmare on Elm Street Part 6, isn't it? It just keeps fucking going on. 1, 2, Glazer's coming for you. 3, 4, and Mbeumo's at your door. 5, 6, we're surrounded by dicks. 7, 8, this transfer's gonna be late. 9, 10, yeah, we'll be waiting again. 11, 12, the fuck's going on? We're on the shelf. I don't know what I'm doing anymore, guys. I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm just saying. It's a nightmare on set, Sir Matt Busby way. That's what it is. The current owners believe we are the Crystal Palace. What? What does that mean, Francisco? Fans defending our players are not helping, to be honest. Player power have been ruling United since Fergie left. Even a little bit before Fergie left, actually, I think. Remember that whole Wayne Rooney scenario? Where Wayne Rooney was threatening to leave the football club and then we gave him 300 grand a week and he stayed. I mean, it was key that we signed him up, and I know why Fergie bent. But that was quite uncharacteristic of Fergie, and then that's because he needed him. We fucking needed him. You know what I mean? Snoop Doggy Piggy Rap King, thank you, mate. Should get Sesko. Nice one, Barbary Corsair. You need to make music. I don't know about that. You think 27 degrees is your best operating temperature? Well, we're getting a little bit hotter now, mate. 28.1 degrees at the moment. It's climbing. We'll see how we go. If Ruben can deal with the big egos, then he will succeed. Well, that's it. I mean, I don't want him to deal with the big egos. I want him to get rid of the big egos. Elton John Glasses. You said it before, but people ignored and laughed at me. We'll chase these players and end up with no one or an average Joe. Dominic Calvert-Lewin coming in for a good measure, probably. That's going to be all the business we've done. Al Hilal and Palace, the highlights, lowlights, way too many. Tommy says, Thomas Frank is the sign of the summer. Mark my words, Spurs' next 2-3 seasons will be massive for the club. Oh, we'll see, won't he? Can he do it at a bigger club? That's it. I think they'll be a lot better than last season, though. 100%, yeah. Ruben's got big balls. He will succeed. I think you're right, mate. They call him Space Opera Bollocks from Portugal. Would it be worth a flutter on Spurs for Champions League? I'm drunk. I wouldn't, mate, no. Do you feel that due to the harsh first 8 games United have, that Amorim may get sacked? No, well, probably not that early, but it will be a strong marker of what's going to come for the start of the season, I think. So if we do lose the first, few games, we've got Arsenal coming up in the first fixtures, don't we? Have we got City in there, Chelsea in there, I think, in the first few games? There's a lot of early fixtures that are tough. Even going away to Fulham's not an easy game. So we've got quite a few tough games in there. if he doesn't at least get, a reasonable amount of results in there, then yeah, we're going to be up against it. If we lose the first 5 out of 5, he's going to be on the chopping block. And equally, if it's Christmas time and we're 12th place, 15th place, he's on the chopping block. He's going to have to get into the European places and stay there this season, really. And it's going to be very difficult when he's not being given the personnel to do the job. I know Nelson Semedo, free agent. I haven't seen any links. I don't think we're going for him, but I know we were talking about him the other day as a potential, free agent that we could pick up. But United aren't working on anyone at the moment, it seems, other than Mbeumo. Maybe it's just due to the fact we have to sell players. Rashford has been a massive part of that. Is this a new Eurovision song? Classic Piggy, thanks, Rob, always United. Right, I'm just, your face at 12 was classic. I'm just going to catch up with the chat here. Fergie knew what the bad Glazers were. Yeah, that's true, mate. I know he's failed to criticise the Glazers, but surely even he feels like they were bad for the football club overall. That Rooney deal is what kicked off the obscene contracts in the Premier League. Yeah, I think you're right, Mad Effects, lad. DCL, good business, no risk. You need to get the F out of England and move somewhere else with good weather and lower taxes. Great shout, Ezio. Pig, is Bruno considered a big ego or not? Nah. He's considered somebody who gets his head down and works very hard. Yes, he's a bit of a, bit of a moaner. He is a bit of a moaner, but he's not somebody that's going to kick up a fuss, mate. He's somebody that wants to turn down 700 grand a week to go and play in Saudi to stay and play in Manchester. You know what I mean? I think he's a passionate player who wants to play and do well for the team, and I don't think he wants to make any waves whatsoever. That's not the impression I get from him. He's a family man. He just wants to relax and chill. You all right, Mrs. P? Sellotape? There you go. I'll get you some from my Manchester United's dispenser. There you go. You can just take it. Mrs. P in the house. What's that for?
Hey everyone, just sending back a dress.
Oh, okay. No worries. I thought you were coming in to put it over my mouth then for a second. We have Rashi Anthony to come back. Yes. I don't know if they're going to be introduced back into the side, mate. I know Rashi's back already early training on his own at Carrington and stuff, isn't he? The window's like a TV serial. Tune in next week, folks. Same time, same channel for the latest thrilling episode in The Window. The board committed to Amorim. They can't fire him that early. Precisely. They've got to give him at least until, well, in my opinion, the whole of next season. But realistically, if he's by Christmas down there, he probably is getting sacked. So they need to give him at least until Christmas to get us in, get us up there. United should pay fans compensation for psychological damages. Good call. Goodness me, they'd be paying out more than friggin' Pfizer, wouldn't they? Ferguson's the reason the Glazers are here. I think you have to blame the Football League more than anyone else, really, for even allowing them to buy the club in the way they did. Very tough start. Some United fans thinking managers are bigger problems than the players and owners. Yeah. And to be fair to Fergie, they gave him the tools to do the job while he was there. He was just a special talent. He could actually do the job. But he always was given the backing to buy the players. He just was able to buy good players. But he put something cold on the back of your neck. Oh, yeah, that's a great idea, Ray. Don't have anything cold right now, but that's a great idea. Ferguson was a big supporter of the Glazers. He was. I never heard him say anything bad about the Glazers. I really haven't. All he's ever said is they backed him, gave him what he needed. That's all he's ever said. Which, I mean, if you think about it, he's not far off. It's really from that era on that we've really struggled. Michael Carrick will be the next United manager. I don't think the next one, but maybe in future. You bet we go cheap and get free agents at the last minute. Glazers are a disgrace. Williams says no transfers while the staff are on summer holidays. Have no fear, Bruno's still here. Well, I'm very glad we've got Bruno. I am. Pogba emoji, yeah, maybe. Duct tape, maybe giving Luke Shaw a new contract or Phil Jones a new contract when we did. Oh, yes. You think Ruben is treated the worst in his first summer? Well, him and David Moyes, I suppose. Moyes had it hard as well, didn't he? I mean, he was left a championship winning side, though. But Moyes wasn't signed any players up until this point, really. I think maybe around now or later on in the window even. Was it deadline? I don't know. We did get Fellaini later in the window. Other than that, he didn't get anyone. It seems very similar to that at the moment. We don't know who to blame anymore. Well, it's certainly not Amorim, I'll tell you that much. Amorim, too stuck to his system, needs to be pragmatic. Well, if he's not going to get the players for his system, he's going to have to change some things if he wants results. Because we've already seen what happens last season when they try and play the system. Bring Chicharito back. What a baller. Marky Harris, lad. There's more bums in United than Pornhub. Sack them all. Amorim ticking P45. All right, steady on there, my son. Steady on there. He's only just come in. Ferguson protected his legacy, facilitating the Glazer cancer. Fair enough. Ferguson was backed with his big budget and serious success. Squad was in completely different state back then. Totally different scenario, yeah. Staff should be working 24/7, no vacation. Man United's like my Aussie rules football team. Shit. Glazers have actually spent money. Ineos are the assholes, to be fair. Well, they're certainly come in and pinch the pennies. Really, have we got 317 likes on this stream tonight? Well, that's meaty. Thank you, everyone, for hitting that like button. That's a meaty amount. That's like a Luke Shaw extra steak and gravy pie. That's what that is. Oh, yeah. Where's Pikachu? Pikachu's down here, mate, in the bin. That's where Pikachu is. Rangers, as Glazers would have signed Mbeumo by now, they would have paid it. Ineos just delaying it, which is embarrassing. Maybe so. I think you're right, Ranger. They're trying to penny pinch rather than just paying the extra few quid. Glazers probably would have done. If you look at their track record over the years, they spent too much on players. I guess they're trying to get away from that, but now's not the time to start that when you need this guy in before pre-season. Your anger levels went up to 11, losing the Europa final. Yeah. Back to 10 and a quarter now. How many losses this season? I'm going to say 12. 12 losses, which is still shite. But I feel, how many did we get last season? Was it 17? Where's Pikachu Piggy? Oh, I've just already messaged that, responded to that, didn't I? Glazers never spend jackets or loans. I don't know. I mean, obviously, they signed a lot of players like under Ten Hag, 600 million spent. Amram has burned so many bridges with players we're currently stuck with. Wouldn't be surprised he completely lost the dressing room. That's the problem. If he has to introduce, again, players back into the team like Garnacho, Sancho and Rashford, then it's going to undermine everything he's doing. Thank you, Mrs. P. Okay. Chicharito actually offered to come back and play for us free a few seasons back. What a finisher. Fox in the box, off the bench. Great. The Mexican Ole Gunnar. Can't wait for next week during the Mbeumo saga to see just how negative news will be. Yeah, if only Ten Hag didn't spend all that money on Anthony and Onana. What's up there, Gaz, you legend? How goes it? Wenger put his club first. Yeah, you're right. You are getting 318 likes because you are interacting with the chat. And people really appreciate that. Hey, thank you, RK. I appreciate that too. Mate, this is what it's about for me, the community interaction, the chat we have. I'm coming in here, I'm socialising, I'm talking United, I'm loving it. You know, thank you, everyone, for getting in and having your say. It's what makes the channel. You're no expert on football, but Luke Shaw's a fat mess. Oh, do you know, he's looking quite lean at the moment. He's actually looking pretty lean, this guy. Sancho, on the other hand, he's had a few of Luke Shaw's diet tips, I think. If Fergie had retired when he originally said he was going to retire, things would have been worse for United. Hey, fair play, you know. We can't blame Fergie, ultimately. He was a hero at this football club. We've not seen what Amram's capable of yet. He's trying to make lemonade with the lemons he's been left with. And the lemons are rotten, lad. You can only see 2 points from the first 5 games. Fair point, Mark. You know, I'm going to try and be a bit more ambitious and say 7. But that means we're going to actually have to do well in a couple of those games, maybe cause 1 or 2 upsets. So I'm trying to stay optimistic. You might be right. We need protest now, Pig. I think this transfer window has been a shambles. It really has, mate. This is one of the worst windows. I think it's the worst window for 10 years, I do, since the Moyes one. Prove it's all about who has most money anyway. It used to be United and now it's not. We should just publish the wealth list. Well, it's not necessarily that we don't, it's not us who's got the most money. It's we can still compete with everyone. It's that we're shackled by our owners and our debts and things like that. Yeah, 18 last season. Hard to see this squad achieving significantly better. Yeah, I know. Maybe we'll get a bit better. I still think, you know, we can have a better season than last season, even if we don't sign anyone. Surely. But, yeah, I agree. 100% fit. Shaw is one of the best left backs in the world. He's never 100% fit, is he, Ezio? We definitely don't want the toxic twosome back if they... And that's a little bit of a stretch anyway, Ezio, lad. Come on. You know, he has been really good over the years. You know, I've seen him put in some great performances for England and us back in the day. You know, very good getting down, whipping balls in, all that sort of stuff. But I wouldn't say he's one of the best in the world, you know, over the last 7 years or anything even close, to be honest. 18 in the league, 2 in Europa League Cup. Yeah, shit, shocking. You can't blame Ineos for crap players somebody else signed. Ineos didn't sign all this dead. Well, no, they didn't, but they've also done a pretty poor job of overseeing incomings and outgoings at the moment. Verdict on Diego Luan? Well, I want to see him play in the pre-season and let's see how he does. You know, because there's always good hype and these players, everybody looks good on YouTube, but they have to adapt well. They have to have that dog in them. He does seem to have that dog in him. Let's see how he does with the pre-season opportunities he'll get. If he does really well and he looks better than Dorgu, chuck him in there. Thank you, Gaz. Appreciate that. That's what we're going for there. There's a long way to go yet on this window. You think the season's going to be even worse because the crap players are still here, so they've not been punished. Maybe RK, slightly tighter-knit squad, 1 or 2 additions, could be better, but I guess, you know, ultimately it's a bit crazy to expect much different results when you've got much the same squad. Glazers probably look at the list of trophies and said, we've never won the EFL trophy. Excuse me? 15th place, no European football. Did the board actually give a shit looking at this window? I think not. How can Sunderland spend more than us? Unbelievable. Luke Shaw, dinner and Mbeumo. You know what's crazy is we've generated more cash from other teams selling our ex-players than we have our own. Yes, transfer window has been boarded up by the Glazers' greed. That's a very nice way of putting it. That's poetic, lad. Not accepting 12 losses this season. Maybe do a poll. Will United get relegated this season? I'm not doing that poll, okay? I refuse. We're not getting relegated. When does transfer window close? It closes on the 1st of September, I believe. So, obviously, the season gets underway, beginning to mid-August. So, games will be underway while the window's still open, and then it closes, August 31st or the 1st of September. Any news? Nah, mate. Yeah, lots of news. Lots and lots of news. Just none of it ours, mate. Lots and lots of news, mate. None of it ours. Madueke to Arsenal. Here we go. Alvaro to Real Madrid. Here we go. We're expected to get 5 to 8 million for that. Forest are pursuing Visser at Brentford. Gibbs White to Spurs. Here we go. Galatasaray are pursuing Osimhen again. Still. Kudu to Tottenham. Here we go. There's a lot going on, but it's not for us, mate. Madueke to Arsenal's another one as well. Did we say that one? I don't know. Madueke to Arsenal, here we go. There's a lot going on, none of it for us. Oh, Dennis Irwin was the best left-back. I'm with you. Patrice Evra, a close second. You've had a great week. Oh, awesome to hear Tommy K and Langer gone now. Hey, fair play to you, lad. It is, they are doing some bits there. You absolutely hated the bastard, but I have to wonder they're honest thinking, seeing the current state of United. Oh, he won't be happy at all. We have more hope than Bob Hope in having a good season without players coming in. What's happening with Dusan Vlahovic as a free agent? Again, I don't really fancy it myself. I don't fancy it. Injury prone, wants more than 250 grand a week. Screw that noise. Nuno Mendes, the best left back in the world right now, in my opinion, says Larry Hasser. That's a great shout. You're probably right up there. Yeah, I'd say that's a good call, lad. This next Man United adventure is going to be crazy. Doesn't matter which forwards you buy. Piss poor midfield and dodgy defence won't win anything. Be positive, Pink. New class of 92 must be coming through. It's possible that either Yoro or Martinez plays as CDM this year. I guess. Your streams last longer than Club and United's boardroom meetings. They do. This is a long stream. Shit, we're on here for an hour and 18 minutes. Well, we'll just read a few more out anyway. I like to stay on here until a bit late to see if any news comes out. Let's see if there is any news since we've last had a look. Fabrizio 4 minutes ago says more on Noni Madueke exclusive story. Understand Arsenal and Chelsea will exchange all documents on Friday. The transfer fee agreed will be a £52 million package. Arteta said yes to Madueke as key target already weeks ago. Medical being scheduled soon. So that's all done. That's the latest update. What's this? Florian Plettenberg reposted something he posted on the 6th of July about Marcus Rashford and Barcelona. Florian Plettenberg with some eye emojis and a little tick with this Barcelona Rashford news highlighted. It says, understand FC Barcelona want to try again for Marcus Rashford. A move for Luis Diaz is currently very unlikely. This was from a few days ago. He's just reposting it. So I assume that means that it's still, appropriate and that Barcelona are still interested in him. But they're only interested, I think, in a loan or at a really cut price deal. Yeah, Dallow's our new number 2, yeah. Yeah, I know. Shocking stuff, isn't it? Shocking stuff. I mean, we did sign a player actually today, guys. I forgot to even talk about that earlier on, didn't I? We actually have signed a football player today, guys. Yes, we did. We did, guys. I forgot to say that even in my afternoon stream. We are excited to announce the signing of Enzo Canapiac. Could be a really good young player, to be fair. Let's hope he does really well. He's staying on loan at Lusan Sport anyway. But I think, is he 18? Is he 18 or is he 16? I've forgotten now. But excited to announce the signing of Enzo Canapiac. The young forward will spend the 25-26 campaign on loan at Lusan Sport. Best of luck, Enzo. So could be a good signing, one for the future. I know. What we fucking do. I know. Oh, it's a miracle. Throw him in the number 9 now. I know, it couldn't be any worse, could it? Exciting. Better be a Flying Pig supporter than give a flying fig for this Mickey Mouse Football Club. Hey, big ups and bizarre, put in you legend. You'd rather have his father, says Steve Barrero, when he was left back ever to his place. Yeah, definitely 16. Who the fuck is this guy? Well, he's just a good young talent. Hopefully he's going to be good, Hopefully he's going to be good, William. But again, it's nothing groundbreaking, is it? Probably sell him for 6 million and then get a sell on when he's sold for 70 million. Yeah, true. Sign Ronaldo's kid. What's this? Ika Ichani says, this is what the management focus now. Omar Barada shared his reaction to the 10-year growth plan for Greater Manchester announced yesterday by Ali Beno. I saw that, yeah. We have Højlund, who's that guy? Just some youngsters. Youngsters seem to do better. That's a fair point. Can see us going down faster than Katie Price, and then those things change. Okay, well, I hope so, Jamie. Certainly, could be a good one for the future, but it doesn't help us now, but it could help us for the future. But he's staying on loan anyway at Lausanne for the remainder of the season until next summer. So if he was a better player, you'd think he'd go to Nice instead. So I don't know why Højlund's still at the club. It is truly a shambles. Anyway, I guess we're going to read one or two more out, guys. It's nearly midnight, so you wouldn't raid Nice for free, fair play. So we better just get into the chat here for read a couple more out. But once again, smash that like button if you haven't done. Wow, we're nearly at 350 likes tonight. Keep hitting the thumbs ups there. Give us a massive like. Twat the thumbs ups, hit the subscribe if you're new. We're on here daily with all the United news. Come and join us tomorrow lunchtime around about 1 p.m. and also tomorrow night around about 10 p.m. And obviously, if there's anything big and breaking, we'll jump straight on as well. So click the bell icon for notifications. I know, I saw that, Wayne Rooney. I know, yeah, some people are not going to like that, are they? Who do you think can bag the most goals next season? For Man United, I'm going to go ahead and say it's going to be Cunha. And for the Premier League campaign, I'm going to say it's going to be Isak this year who gets the golden boot. Only joking, Biggie, he will probably be half decent. It's always the quiet ones. Obviously Haaland, Salah, those guys will also be up there. But I'm just going to go Isak, have a breakout season as the Don. Who will get injured first, Shaw amount. Probably Shaw, he's probably already injured until September 1st when the transfer window closes. Transfer window has to be one of the worst. It is definitely the one of the worst, yeah. Hey, you too, Solly Griffin, have a great night, you legend. Thank you so much. Well, actually, Lyon are not getting relegated anymore now, Jonathan. They actually won their appeal yesterday, so they're staying in League One, aren't they? So it's thought that they're not going to be in this. I mean, obviously, they still got to balance the books, so they're probably open to selling players. But it's not like all their players are necessarily going to want to leave immediately. Dark Horses, Newcastle. Who would be my dream signing this summer? Dream signing, Donnarumma. That would be a dream signing. Get one of the best goalkeepers in the world, sort that problem position out for us. I think that could save us 15 to 20 points a season, I do. But it's just not going to happen, is it? But you said dream. Seems Ineos don't fancy Amorim as manager, eyeing up waistcoat. And that tells you everything when my dream signing's a goalie, by the way. Ineos, the worst owner's history alongside Blackburn Glazers. Yeah, good shout. Ineos don't fancy Amorim as manager, eyeing up waistcoat. Southgate. I don't know. Some people are saying that. I can't see it, but some people are saying that. Chelsea's Jackson might be available. Let's see how Diego Leon does in pre-season, and I think he can earn a place. If he looks better than Dorgu, let's chuck him in, Nice, nil, Brest, nil. Thanks, Pete. Thank you, Barbary. Won't believe anything until the Panini sticker book comes out. Palace be playing in Europe now with Leon. Yeah. Cheers, Piggy and folks. Onana will have the best goal tally. Ineos is here only to promote themselves, not invest in United. They're not too bothered. Fair play to you, lad. Cunha and Mbeumo is a good start, I think. Just slow. Ineos, I've got a new stadium, massively invested in the academy, and updated Carrington, and massive lowered wages. They aren't the Glazers, mate. We're just crap in short term. I feel like the Ineos haven't done really that much at all. How have they got a new stadium? They haven't got that yet, have they? With the flubbery mess in goal and no goals up front, I fear the United next year. I have a lot of United mates who I would like to see happy. Go on then, Russell, lad. I think they did win their appeal, Steve. Garnacho swap for Jackson? Not for Jackson, no thanks. Maybe for Palmer. So basically, me and Mr. Red will see you at 10 p.m. Nice one, Paula. You have a great rest of your birthday. Thank you for getting in. Appreciate you. And we'll see you on the next one. Yes. Right, we're going to wrap this stream up then, but thank you so much, all of you legends, for tuning in. Oh, Bizarre Pudding. Mate, thank you so much for the $20 super chat at the end of the stream there, lad. Double ones of those, lad, for you. Let's get some love in there. Thank you, Bizarre Pudding, for the $20 super chat there, my son. Legend. Thank you. He says, you and Mrs. P are the best, Pigster. You keep our spirits up in these dark times. Much love to you both, dude. Bizarre Pudding, lad. You reached out and you touched the piggy's heart. Thank you so much, mate. Bizarre Pudding, you're a hero, lad. That's very nice. What a lovely message. Guys, get some love in there for Bizarre Pudding. And he sent us a $20 super chat. What a legend. Thank you, Bizarre Pudding. You're a legend. My man bun's itching, guys. My man bun. Look. Anyway, Dave, nice one, Dave. English by the grace of God. RK, once again, thank you so much, Bizarre Pudding. Thank you, everyone else who's got in here tonight as well. I'm going to be wrapping up the stream now, but a nice long chat with you legends. Thank you for joining aboard. It's too hot now, guys. 28.3 and climbing. I'm getting out of here before I turn into a hog roast. Nice one, Gaz, A. Gibbs, Links Red, History Buff, William Reedy, John Boy, Oh, yeah, I can't be arsed with it at the moment, lad. I'm going to get on it over the weekend, though, yeah. Jonathan, Jamie, Gaz, Gibby, Rob, Larry, RK, Justin, Russell, History Buff, all the moderators in blue. Thank you for moderating. All the legends who reposted on X, thank you. Thank you to all the members in green as well. People like Russell Bland, Rob Always United there. Craig, GC, Jonathan Gallagher for being members of the channel and supporting the channel. Thank you so much for supporting the show, guys. Nice one, Jamie. And everybody else as well who's in here. Thank you, Mark Harris. Thank you, Wayne the Red. Once again, happy birthday to Paula. Have a great rest of your evening. Legends. Cheers, RK. Cheers, Gibby, and everybody else as well. Look, you can come back after this video is finished and get your thoughts and opinions in about anything we've discussed. Thank you, Links Red. Obviously, it's a really slow, gash-tastic window from Man United. We're just so frustrated. We've just got to hope that we start to see a little bit more movement in terms of incomings and outgoings. Hopefully, Mbeumo tomorrow. Hopefully, 1 or 2 players being sold soon as well. It's a debacle of a window, though. A true debacle. Anyway, thanks for watching. Insta, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, Twitch, and Kick. Follow us at Flying Pig United. Links are in the description. Check out the website, flyingpigunited.com. The gaming channel, Flying Pig Gaming on YouTube. And you have yourself a bloody good one, my friends. Thanks for watching. I'll chat with you after anybody comes back and comments. And you have yourself a great night, and I'll see you tomorrow. And remember, when the seagulls follow the trawler, as this is because they think sardines will be thrown into the sea. Thank you very much. Get in there, you beauties. Thank you so much to all the patrons here for supporting the channel on patreon.com/flyingpigunited. As a thank you, all you legends will be appearing on this outro list. Get in there. Once again, thank you to all the YouTube members, but one of the best ways you can support the channel is on patreon.com. So check it out. Patreon.com/flyingpigunited. And once again, a big thank you to all the legends that do support the channel on Patreon. Get in there.